Good morning and welcome to Coffee Ann, the longest running panel discussion show in American radio. To make a comment or ask a question to the panel, call 401-766-1240 or email coffee@woonsocket.radio.com. And now, let's join the Coffee Ann panel.
Good morning to you. It is Coffee and Time on ON Radio on Friday morning at January 19th. This is Joe Callahan. Thanks for joining us this morning. That was Dave Richards
You're
right over
entirely
there.
welcome, Joe.
Good morning to you there, Dave.
Hi.
We expect Melissa Murray to be here momentarily. And joining us at the Coffee and table for these half hour, roughly 30 minutes, Adam Brunetti.
Hello.
Who's running for Woonsocket City Council.
Yes.
So we'll find out from Adam why coming up in just a few moments. But first, our first segment sponsor of Coffee Ann is the Northern Rhode Island Chamber of Commerce. Dave, what's going on with the chamber?
Well, all those legislative critters are active down in Providence now, Joe. So we've got in our email box the Advocacy and Action email from the Northern Rhode Island Chamber. They have registered people down there at the legislature, and then they make a report every week. They talk about the introduction of bills. Already 246 pieces of legislation have already been assigned a number, and it continues on.
How many?
246.
Wow.
And it's just the first few weeks.
Okay.
All right, and so that's going on, and it will continue to go on and stuff like that. And then they're talking about the State of the State address, and they're giving you information about that. New bills that have been filed. Not only do they tell you how many, but there's a list. I see the very first one at the top of the list, House Bill 7084. Mr. Phillips has his name on this one, along with Mr. Casey, John Brian, the Independent, and Fenton Fung, and a whole health and safety, vehicle barriers, and the Charlotte A. Vaca Act requires commercial property owners to install vehicle barriers at their retail establishment locations so no one can drive into them. Well, that was just the first one, folks. And that's going to cost businesses money for sure. And there's another one down here I see a bunch of familiar names on. But anyway, as a member of the Chamber of Commerce, you would get an email just like that. You'd also get the other one I have over here with the list of activities coming up. Like next Tuesday, the Business is Brewing Network pop-up from 5 to 7 at Narragansett Brewing Company we've been telling you about. Yeah, that's going to be a nice one. Plus the Eggs and Issues Breakfast. Guess who's going to be the speaker of the Eggs and Issues Breakfast on February 6th? Governor Dan McKee.
There we go. All right.
Great.
All right. It's going to be at Brown
a lot of
University.
possible answers
at
for that
Bella
one.
Grand Hall. And then there's several other things that I won't get into because they're much further into February. And I even have for March, so you can, there's a March 26th legislative reception you can put down in your calendar book. You know, if you run a small business or just a side hustle, the Northern Rhode Island Chamber of Commerce can help you be more productive. It can be the feet on the street when it comes time for advocacy and knowing which way is. And if you don't think the state government is in your business, just guess again, friends. All you got to do is call 334-1000 after 9 o'clock this morning when they start answering the phones and find out how the chamber can help you.
Very good, Dave. Thanks. All right, we invited Adam here to talk about his candidacy.
Yes.
Adam's been around the city quite a bit. You're involved with 11 Amp music series in the summertime. You've been on the AutoFest steering committee, the Downtown Woonsocket Collaborative, Democratic City Committee. Any other boards that you're part of that I
there's
missed?
so many. I am on the Rhode Island Department of Education and State Council on the Arts Board of Trustees Advisory Board for the continuing technical education. So I help them work on the curriculum that will be statewide for these what they call pathways across all of the schools across the state. To allow the students to start getting college credits and start learning in the field that they want to explore as a career while they're still in high school. So I'm on that one. I'm on a board of directors for Jazz Festival in Seattle because people know I don't know how to say no. And
Seattle's on the other side.
Oh,
of the country, right?
I'm aware.
Okay.
Are you frequently tardy for meetings?
No, actually, because of the time difference, they start at 6, which means I just get on a Zoom call at 9 p.m. It works well.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
And then they'll fly me out every March to do the Jazz Festival, and it's a good time.
Oh, well, great. So with all this going on,
Right.
you then decided I've got time to be a
Yes.
Woonsocket City Councilor. So
Well,
what
yeah.
made you make what was the deciding factor to make you want to run for city council?
You know, I think I saw over the past year, especially, what the importance of really having a solid city council is. We've seen a lot of issues between the council and the administration that popped up that really didn't need to happen in the first place. Between just pettiness and just because of the perceived slight, I'm not letting you have this, and that happened a lot recently, and it really kind of shone a light on the lack of progress that the city was making, and we've already seen. It's astonishing the past month, a month or two, with the new administration, with this new feeling of collaboration, cooperativeness, the difference that what the city can do when this council, the administration works together. And it's incredible. It's something that should have been happening for a while now, and it's really great to see. And it's kind of funny, I always talk with people where it's like it's shocking, and that the base level of governing is shocking at this point. Just a standard level of working together is something that people aren't used to anymore in the city, and I want to make sure that we continue that, make sure that we bring that back.
Okay. When you were out collecting signatures,
Yep.
What were the citizens of Woonsocket saying to you as something they'd like to see in a city council or city councilor?
Yeah, I think they want to see someone who can work across, not really the aisle because it's nonpartisan,
Right.
but you do have that need to. Even if you don't agree with someone on all their political ideals, you still need to work with them. If they're a fellow councilman, if they're a fellow councilor, administration, city official, doesn't matter if you don't agree on all of the same ideals. You need to work together, and that's what I feel, especially with people my age. I am fairly young to be getting into politics in the city, and
Do you think that works to your advantage?
I think so. I think so because it offers a new perspective. It
Okay.
gives, and I think the city has had a bad taste in its mouth of young people my age running for politics and being in office, and I want to make sure that image is changed. Unfortunately, we've had some characters my age.
Every community does.
Yes.
Adam. Every community does.
Exactly.
I'm so proud of Woonsocket, man. We work out
Absolutely.
of our problems.
Absolutely. We get into it, and I think we just need. I want to be here to prove that someone my age can be effective in city politics.
All right.
And can work with anyone that I don't agree with everyone all the time. I mean, Joe, you're at the Autumn Fest meetings. We don't always agree.
Not always, but
But it doesn't matter though, because we're working together for the common goal of advancing the city. And to me, especially as if you're in city politics, that's all that matters. You're working with people to make Woonsocket a much better place, and
right.
people know how much I love the city.
Very good. All right. If any comments or questions for Adam, please give us a call, 766-1240. We'll pass it along to him. Dave, did you have anything pertinent off the top of your head that you wanted to ask Adam before we just move along?
Well, no, just an observation to make.
Okay.
We've made this observation with others, and I think it's valid to make it again while Adam's here with us today, Joe, and that is that if you want something done, ask a busy person.
All right.
And
Yeah.
so, I mean, the first comment
get it
that you
in.
made was that you're
he's
a member
busy.
of various organizations, more than your average person, because that's just what you like to do. I also note that, well, you don't have the same family responsibilities as a lot of the married people who would come as well. And that affords you more free time to be that busy.
Right.
And so I always noted that former Congressman Dave Cicilline was a single man, and he had more time where you could just be somewhere and he'd just show up and say hi because
Right.
he had the time to do it. He didn't have to worry about spending time with the kids or the spouse or whatever.
Right.
And so you have that that ability to do that, and more than that ability to do that, you do it.
Right.
Because a lot of people are single and they might have the ability, but they don't do it. But you do, and I think that makes you somebody that should be considered.
Well, thank you, Dave.
All right, this is your first foray into elected politics, correct?
Technically, yes. Technically, I have to be elected to the Democratic City Committee. So
Oh, okay.
I do have the honorable title already, which is weird. But doesn't go to my head at all, no.
All right.
I've never used it.
No, it's fine.
How long did it take you to collect all the signatures you needed?
You know,
Did that go relatively quickly?
it went pretty quickly. I wanted to make sure,
he had
you know,
friends
as
helping him,
as
which
a-
is another major important thing that you have
yes.
to do if you want to be
Yeah.
for an elected office.
Absolutely.
You cannot do it just by yourself.
No, I have a great team behind me for this, and getting the signatures, I had people like Melissa, Councilman Manzeri, Councilman Thompson, people that I've been that I've looked up to for politics, and I've learned a lot from them, and it's been really great to have them on my side and to kind of steer me in the right direction, help me out with whatever's happening. Garrett texts me on the daily, "What did you do for the campaign today? What did you do for the campaign today?"
Sounds like your campaign manager.
Oh, I wish. I really wish, but it takes a team. It takes being able to work with a bunch of people, and I feel like I've kind of collaborated with enough people on this that I have a really good team of people behind me for this.
All right. What are you hearing out there, word on the street about the primary that's coming up on February 6th? Are people talking it's going to be a low turnout, or what are you hearing?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's going to be a low turnout. With Woonsocket, we've always seen that special elections, midterm elections, there's not a lot of people who go out and get their voices heard, and that's something I've been, trying to work on, really working on with the Democratic City Committee, just on my own, the importance of getting your vote out there, getting your voice heard. I feel that, vote, especially now that we have early voting, we have mail voting, we have all these ways to make voting more accessible here in the state now. There's no reason to not go and vote.
Yeah.
Because if you don't go and vote, well, you lost your chance of getting your say of who is in charge of the city, who is running the city on the council, in the mayor's office. You need to vote. You need to make sure that your voice is heard. If you don't go vote,
You lost it. Right. Okay.
it's one of the most fundamental parts of our democracy, and I feel that voting is so important. And we've seen elections in the city decided by a couple hundred votes.
And it really doesn't take that long.
No.
I mean, especially in an election like this, especially
Right.
in the primary, it's going to take 5 minutes.
Exactly. And I
that's
always go
from getting out of your car,
Right.
to getting back to your car.
right. And for me, I always go and I vote early at City Hall now.
Okay.
Mainly because even if I'm not running, I'm also running multiple campaigns.
Okay.
So I'm working with many campaigns every single election day. So
you have to get it done early.
exactly,
So,
because
all right.
usually I'm surrounded by 20 computer screens and maps of the city and
Yeah.
volunteer lists and
And where are people voting and where people aren't voting?
exactly. I get hour by hour updates of turnouts at every precinct, and I'm getting the percentage of turnout at each precinct. People who know me know I love my spreadsheets, and I have very big spreadsheet from every single election with election data, turnout data. We know who comes out to who votes every single election, who doesn't, who only comes out in a general. And I can't stress the importance of those primary elections, of the special elections. You got to go out, make your voice heard.
All right. Are you finding the whole process tiring?
At this point, I don't have the ability to be tired because of how much that I do. But it's been eye-opening, that's for sure. The money that it takes to run a campaign, especially as a brand new candidate who has never had a campaign finance account before, just building up that initial fund but at the same time, it's like, this is such a quick process because it's a special election.
It comes fast.
It comes very fast. So trying to build up that campaign and get the money out there to get, my yard signs, stickers, the cost of this is.
It's amazing, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Now, we mentioned all the boards that you're on, but if people don't know, tell the listeners what your full-time job actually is.
Absolutely. So I am a full-time production manager at Advanced Production and Design down in Quonset. I'm actually heading right to the office from here. So for me, I'm working on every day different events. I've spent the past 3 days in the 20-degree weather outdoors in Providence loading in. They're having an outdoor festival called Lumina, and it's light displays everywhere.
I do know it's winter, right?
Yeah. I had a lot of fun hanging Christmas lights on trees in the end of January yesterday. But every day I get to do a different event, whether it's a corporate event, a wedding. Every weekend in the summer, I'm on Nantucket doing like $2.5 million weddings and mixing bands, and I love it because for me, it's not just a typical day in the office. It's not just a 9 to 5. Today it is, but it's a lot of running on the seat, running on the edge of your seat, and last minute changes. And by the way, today we just added on this entire festival that we're now loading in. So that's prepared me for office, because you have to be able to jump on something at the last minute. You need to be able to make those last minute changes, last minute decisions. And
sure. All right, we're going to take a break here on the Coffee Inn program. This segment of Coffee Inn has been sponsored by the Northern Rhode Island Chamber of Commerce.
A message from the Carew Investment Group, 68 Cumberland Street, at the corner of Clinton and Cumberland Streets here in Woonsocket. The Carew Investment Group offers you personal management of investment accounts. Depending on what you're looking for, whether it be to enhance your current income, a 401k rollover, or retirement income, we'll put together a plan for you. We focus on using quality dividend-paying stocks of companies that you know, investment quality bonds, exchange-traded funds, and use the advantages offered by IRAs. You can contact Paul or Ed at the Carew Investment Group anytime for a free no-obligation portfolio review at 765-8880. Our office is at 68 Cumberland Street in Woonsocket, and our telephone number again is 765-8880. You can also email Ed at ed@carewinvestmentgroup.com or visit the website at www.carewinvestmentgroup.com. Securities offered through Bolton Global Capital, member FINRA and SIPC. Advisory services offered through Bolton Global Asset Management, a registered investment advisor.
Join the St. Anne Arts and Cultural Center at Cello's in Woonsocket on Sunday, January 21st from 11:30 a.m. to 10 p.m. for dine-in or takeout. Cello's will donate up to 20% of your check to the center. Everyone who participates will be entered into a free drawing for a $50 gift card to Cello's and other prizes. A certificate is needed and can be obtained at Belo's Flowers, The Honey Shop, A Cut Above Hair Salon, Vos True Value Hardware, Little General on Cumberland Street, or from the St. Anne Arts and Cultural Center website. Also, meet the 2024 Mardi Gras Queen contestants.
The Coffee Inn panel is enjoying coffee from Down East Coffee Roasters. All their coffee is roasted right here in Rhode Island. Down East Coffee Roasters is available at all Little General stores.
It's the worldwide sound of ON Radio.
It is Coffee Inn on ON AM and FM. Thanks for joining us. Joe Callahan here with Dave Richards. We're also here with Adam Brunetti. Adam is running for Woonsocket City Council. He's looking for your vote coming up in the primary which is coming up fast on February 6th.
Very fast.
Adam, if you can name like 3 things that you would like to accomplish if you become a Woonsocket City Councilor, what would those 3 things be for the city?
All right.
For the betterment of the city.
Right. Well, so I think for me, my main 3 things are the arts and culture, government transparency, and I mean honestly, the budget kind of fits with government transparency. But I think people who know me know how important the arts are to me. Between Levitt Amp, the high school theater department, high school music department, I've seen the power of music. I've seen the power of the arts that it can change lives, and I want to make sure that we have such a great artist base here in the city. We have so many incredibly talented musicians, artists, that I want to make sure that they have those spaces to grow, those spaces to thrive. So I want to make sure that we continue things like Levitt Amp. I want to make sure that we continue offering those spaces and seeing that the arts are truly a bedrock of any community, any civilization. So that's a big thing for me is increasing access to the arts and increasing students their access to the arts. I'm huge on education. I'm very into I'm a teacher at the high schools every now and then, working on theater arts and the technical side of things. And I've seen the effect that it's had on my students, and it's incredible. It's really inspiring to see them.
Do you see more kids looking to go into not to the on stage, but doing the backstage stuff like what you do, doing the production? Are there
We've
more
started
people
that,
going
yeah.
to that?
I mean, every time I go into that school and I do shows, I have a group of students who who watch me bring in all the lighting, all the sound, and they go, "Wait, this can be a career."
Yes, again.
And I say, absolutely, I can. And you know what? And I work with them. You know, once they turn 18, if they want to do some work with me, I get them hired with my company. I get them, kind of get their feet into the industry.
All right.
So I've seen the power of that. I've seen the difference that it can make in people's lives. So I want to make sure that the arts are expanded here in the city. As for government transparency, I mean, we've seen the lack of that and what that can lead to. And I want to make sure that we continue to have an open relationship with City Hall, with the administration. And it's important that the council is made aware of anything that's happening here in the city. And because if not, we end up with a couple of $1 million being spent on land.
Shouldn't be. Right?
Exactly. And then with the budget, going back, tying that into transparency. I hated the previous process where the budget would come out. There'd be a single council meeting on it, and during that meeting, a spreadsheet would just kind of magically appear at the 11th hour, with here's a list of every single change that I want to make from one former councilman, and they just vote on it. There was no line by line of the changes, and that's not right. This is the city budget. This should take hours. This should be either multiple meetings. I don't care.
Well, wait a minute. Hold on a second.
Whoa.
Here. I got to pick you up on that one, Adam. It does take hours, but not at the dais.
Correct. Well,
It takes
right.
hours. Every counselor that I know, except for
Correct.
two,
Right.
I can't prove, has sat down for weekends
Absolutely.
with the
But it should take hours in front of the public. It should be
All
debated.
right, well, that's a
publicly.
valid point in your campaign. If that's what you feel, then that's great. But to say that it should take hours, implying that it doesn't, it does.
No, correct. I did mean it should take hours publicly. It should take hours of public debate, in front of the public, so everyone can hear where these decisions are coming from. I don't care if I'm there till 11 o'clock and 1 o'clock in the morning.
I do. I got to work the next day, and I'm
So do I,
broadcasting your
Dave.
meeting.
You're younger than Dave.
My goodness.
But I feel that it should be a long process, because it's important.
Okay.
This is the money that's going out to
We have
support the
disagreement
city.
over that, because I say at 2 o'clock in the morning, just how much are you helping the public, because they're not
Also
listening
true.
anymore.
Also true.
But I'm still broadcasting it. Oh, come on. There's a point. There's a point of diminishing returns
True.
to that long
True.
meeting thing. You know what I'm saying?
Very true.
Got to draw a line in the sand somewhere. right?
Well, I could understand if you had like 3 full nights, where you dedicate 3 or 4
Right.
hours. But after 4 or 5 hours,
Also-
man,
no,
your
right.
effectiveness is shot.
Nope. Words. Took my next words right out of my mouth, Dave. Like, if don't go till 2. Make more meetings. Have it be a multi-night process.
Well, here's the difference now. You mentioned your age earlier today. I wouldn't have, but seriously, because to me, I don't think age really makes that much of a difference. But in an immaterial way, my age reminds me that I remember the council budget meeting that went till 4:30 in the morning. That at 2 o'clock they sent down to New York lunch to get wieners so they could have something to eat, because some of them came to the meeting without having supper.
Right.
And at 4:30 they broke up and they had to come back later that day.
Right.
And it's that was inhuman.
Yeah.
To put anybody through.
Right.
that. But I remember the times that happened, and we're very pleased not to go back to it.
All right. Anything else, Adam, that you would like to see enhanced or bettered in the city that you're really passionate about?
So I think as people know, I'm very big into Main Street, downtown. Having just recently, I just stepped down as chairman of the Downtown Woonsocket Collaborative in order to focus on the campaign, in order to make sure that, if I am elected by the city to fill the seat, that I can continue working with the board of the DWC. I would then go to an ex officio membership of that board,
Okay.
so that I can vote on matters that pertain to downtown and the DWC and funding. So, but I've seen our downtown go from a 50% vacancy rate when we first revitalized DWC to now a 17% vacancy rate. We're seeing businesses look at Woonsocket now, and they say, "I want to go there."
Okay.
Because they've seen what happens when a city supports its downtown. I always hear, at downtown conferences that when a CEO of a new business is looking at cities he wants to move his business to, he'll look at two things. He will look at the education department, where he's going to send his kids, and they're going to look at the downtown, because that is where the family is going to spend their nights, where they're going to go out for dinner, where they're going to go do their shopping. And our downtown is so important to any city, and especially with Woonsocket, with the historical buildings that we have down here, all the history that is in our downtown. You need to make sure that you're nurturing that. And we've been lucky enough recently where we've been, asked to collaborate with the city on some upcoming projects that I'm really excited about. I've had some really productive meetings lately with the planning department, with people down at City Hall about the future of downtown Woonsocket and Main Street. We have legislation coming up on Monday for the downtown overlay district to expand that and to offer a lot more options to our small businesses. And so that's always been near and dear to my heart, and that's always something that I've been focusing on, and I hope to be able to make even greater progress in downtown as a member of the city council.
All right. Any thoughts on, because you always hear, "Oh, gee, we gotta have a supermarket in the city,"
Right.
Not that you can go out and get one.
Right.
But is that would you like to see something like that in the city?
I would love to get rid of the food desert title that we do currently hold.
Okay.
But with supermarkets, it is hard. I mean, people always come up to me and say, we need to do something back at Diamond Hill on the plazas. And unfortunately, because those plazas are privately owned, it's a lot harder to bring, to just say, "Oh, we're going to have a supermarket there."
Yeah.
It all depends on the owner of the plaza. So we need to find a good location. I did not agree with the thought of having one at Barryfield,
All right.
especially when we have a supermarket directly across the street. Well, technically, yes, it's in
Another town.
Another town. It's still across the street.
Right. Yeah.
And I think you need to find places here in the city that can support a supermarket, and you need to find a supermarket that wants to come into Woonsocket.
Okay. We only got a few more minutes, so Dave, any last minute questions or observations you want to make to Adam before we have to wrap things up?
Only that I wanted to say that I think a guy who obviously cares like Adam. Adam and I have known each other for quite a few years, but we really started working more closely when it came to Levitt and all like that. But that's a professional situation. Now it gets to be personal because I'm a citizen of Woonsocket. I'm a voter in Woonsocket, and I'm saying, okay, now who would be my choice to fill that vacancy? I look at it and I say, the city council is a lot bigger job than you might think, but I imagine you've talked about that with some of your advisors who have gone that route before.
Yes.
And they've tried to open your eyes to how much work that is.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you're not going to be able to keep all the boards and
Nope.
stuff like that. At the very least, do you realize that being involved in so many things in the city is going to put you, like it does Councilor Garrett Mancieri, in a position where you have to recuse yourself more times than you might feel comfortable to.
Right. Nope.
And Garrett is very conscientious about doing that. But it does take your ability to vote on things that you might care about away from you under the auspices of trying to be fair. So that's always been the case. I've observed it in many different walks of life. In order to be fair, you end up being inherently unfair.
Right.
In order to be fair to everybody, I can't run for office because I own a radio station.
Right.
Okay, so I can't. Well,
Right.
it's not that I own it; it's that I'm on it. Actually, if I never spoke on the station, I was just an owner. I could do it, but
Right.
that's not how it works in small market radio. So, but
Well,
anyway,
we're working on it,
you, I just wanted to ask you the question: have you given all this due consideration?
I have, and I've already, started making the moves that are necessary, preparing some of these boards to have me leave. Like I said, with DWC, I already stepped down as chairman. Right now, I am interim secretary until we can get someone to take that position on fully. And if elected, I will then step down to an ex officio role. So that way, I will not be a voting member of the Downtown Woonsocket Collaborative, but I'll
Right.
still be able to go to the board meetings, just like Garrett did.
Yeah.
And just the way I've kind of started working on that on a couple of boards that I'm on so that I can effectively serve them.
All right, to wrap things up before Adam's got to go in 30 seconds or so, go ahead and tell the people why they should vote for you in the primary on February 6th.
Of course. My name is Adam Brunetti. I have lived in Woonsocket for all 30 years of my life. I love this city. I have spent many years working tirelessly to improve the city from an organization standpoint, from the many organizations that I'm a part of. And I feel that I could be a great voice for the citizens of Woonsocket on the city council. And I humbly ask for your vote on the primary on February 6th.
All right, very good. Adam, thanks for coming in.
Thank you.
All right, time for a look at the forecast being brought to you by Unbound.org.
Cloudy skies today with a high of 27 degrees and a breeze from the north. A 50% chance of snow, mainly afternoon. Tonight, a chance of snow, mainly before 9 p.m. Cloudy with a overnight low of 11 degrees. Wind chill values of -1 are indicated with northwest winds. The chance of precipitation is 40% overnight. New snow accumulations less than a half an inch possible at nighttime. Saturday, mostly cloudy with a high near 19. Wind chill values of -2 during the daytime with a northwest wind. Sunday, sunshine and 28. Monday, mostly sunny and 37. Tuesday, the moderation continues. Mostly cloudy skies with a high near 40 and a chance of precipitation. That's rain, by the way. Is 30% on Tuesday. Wednesday, a 60% chance of rain and snow, cloudy skies and 40 degrees. And on Thursday, a 40% chance of rain, mostly cloudy and a high near 48.
Currently outside the Navigate Credit Union broadcast studio at the corner of Park Ave and Kennedy Street with cloudy skies, we have 28 degrees. A girl in Kenya dreams of becoming a doctor. An elder in Guatemala dreams of being part of a community. Reach out and change the world, and it will change your own at unbound.org.
For an Allstate agent, providing protection options that fit your life is something they take, well, personally. Allstate agents are committed to learning about your needs and helping customize protection to meet them. From bundling your home and auto insurance with ease to evaluating optional coverage, your Allstate agent can help build an insurance proposal that fits your life. And just as important as learning what you need is learning what you don't. Because helping you get coverage you want with savings you deserve is what Allstate is all about. It's time to get coverage that's catered to you. Are you in good hands? Call Kara and Celeste Benjamin at the Benjamin Agency. One agency, 2 locations in North Smithfield and Bellingham. One telephone number, 765-5000. Subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and Allstate Property and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Dr. Jeffrey Dodge says it's important to have regular dental checkups, especially to check for periodontal disease. You may be having apparent symptoms without knowing it. Some visible symptoms include occasional bleeding of gums, loose teeth, and receding gums. Your dentist can diagnose this problem early through regular dental visits. From Dr. Jeffrey Dodge, Park Avenue, Woonsocket at Park Square, 762-3044.
This segment of the Coffee and Program is sponsored by the Valley Breeze newspapers.
The Valley Breeze has been a local news leader since its founding in 1996, and more people are reading our stories today than ever before. We believe our mission of making our community stronger by telling their stories is not just a tagline, but a way of life for our staff as they connect with you, our loyal readers and advertisers. Our team thanks you for always reading, always reaching out, and always helping toward our shared vision. Check out any of our 5 editions or visit valleybreeze.com for more.
Coffee Ann on ON AM and FM. Thanks for joining us. I'm Joe Callahan here with Dave Richards. Melissa Murray has arrived as well. Hi, Melissa.
Good morning.
And Rich Elaine from Post 85 is here. Hi, Rich.
Hey, morning, everyone.
And before we talk about what's going on at the Post, we got some Milk Fund gifts that have come in.
That's right. We want to recognize he's on the radio because he's going to be deposited later today, along with the check from the Woonsocket Lions Club of $500 that Bob Phillips brought in a few days ago. Also going to be today. Melissa, would you read this one, please?
Absolutely. This is a check for $250. Very generous donation from Kathleen Shatra. So thank you so much.
Joe?
I have a check in hand from Helen and Derek Palazzini from Lincoln. It's their annual donation of $20 to the Milk Fund.
Very nice. And would you read the letter that you have there, Rich?
I would love to. This is a letter from Barbara Skiffing. No, I'm sorry. Is it?
Yeah.
Barbara
Her name-
Skiffington? Yeah.
She's married. Her names have changed. So read,
Okay,
read what it says on the...
Diffley and Thomas M. Diffley. And they have a check here for $50 to the Milk Fund in loving memory of John Skiffing, Mr. and Mrs. John Skiffington, and their 2 late sons, Michael D. Skiffington and Timothy K. Skiffington. And once again, a check from the Diffleys for $50.
Very nice.
All right.
Well, and bless you. And who thinks it's appropriate that they didn't dismantle the Skiffington bypass until after he passed away?
Yeah.
Is anybody out there old enough to remember what the Skiffington bypass is?
Maybe Rich does.
It's the roadway that replaced the mixed-up mile, which was the colloquial term for the way to get onto 95 from 146 because they didn't fix it in the first place.
Oh, all right.
Taking you through the neighborhoods, past the Chad Brown housing project, and all the rest of that stuff. And you had to do that every time you wanted to get onto 95 from 146. And John was instrumental in securing the motivation to get that connector put together.
Wow. Okay.
And now they've redone the connector, and the actual concrete roadway has been replaced. But they waited until after he was gone.
All
I
right.
believe
Just
it's
thought that
still
was
called
interesting.
the John Skiffington Way.
Are they?
There is one, at least one sign
I didn't
on
notice
on
that.
the on one side of the highway.
Yeah?
Yeah.
On southbound
It's-
or northbound, do you think? Because the
on
northbound's
the
been
s-
completely replaced.
Yeah, I think it's the southbound, but it's not the same way. But it's literally not
Well,
the same way.
whatever.
But they renamed it. So
Time
there
happens.
is a little.
Yeah, time
there is a
happens
little,
and things change
yeah.
and stuff like that. But anyway, just thank you very, very much for the Milk Fund gifts. We really, really appreciate them. Keep in mind that we only ask for Milk Fund gifts between Thanksgiving and New Year's Eve. After that, we, of course, collect what's been promised already. If you had in mind or if you promised to make a gift to the Milk Fund and you have not done so yet, please do so really soon because we're going to close it out in the next few weeks. Thank you very much. You can send it right to the radio station if you like at 985 Park Avenue, and we will acknowledge you on the radio, and then they will be acknowledged in the call-in times, and then they will buy milk all this year.
All right, very good. All right, Rich, Post 85, what's new over there on River Street?
Well, we got a couple of things that are going on and something that just passed. I know last Saturday we had our coat drive, or was it the Saturday before?
No, it was last
I don't know.
Saturday.
Was it last Saturday? See, I got to get straightened out.
They all
every
run
once in a
together.
while. But yeah, we had our coat drive, and I'm just going to come right out and say it. We made a lot of announcements on it, but I don't think the community at large really showed up.
Well,
we
it
had a
was
few
pouring rain
people. We
outside,
had a
yeah.
few. Yeah, well, we had a few people show up, and we were left. We had a lot of coats left, but they're not sitting in our attic, which is the good thing because
Okay.
right after that, we got in touch with a couple of organizations that are local around here in Woonsocket, and let's see, the Wide Awake project out in Providence. We gave some coats to those ladies. In fact, I had called Melissa, and I needed some information about where to give some coats away. She came down to the post. She actually helped us load the coats up. sat there, talked with some of the patrons for a little while, and that was a very nice afternoon.
It
Very
was a
happy
nice
to see you come
afternoon.
down
Yeah,
there.
it was good.
And Melissa's always here to support our veterans, but we did give some coats to the Wide Awake Project, the Division of Child Services for the Northern Rhode Island area and Southern Mass area. They got all the children's coats, and the children's coats were donated by it was out of Newton, Mass. TZU CHI. Now I don't know.
Oh, Tsukai.
Sukai, that's how
Okay.
you say it. Okay, Sukai was is a religious group out in Newton, Mass, and they gave us 100 children's coats.
Wow.
So all of those went to the Division of Child Services the other day. Commander Rob LaForte got in touch with those people. We gave them all of them. Grace International Church right here on North Main Street, they got a bunch of them. And the Milagros Project in North Main Street here in Woonsocket got a lot of the coats. So we were able to disperse those, and out of, I would say we had, at the beginning, we might have had over 1,000 coats down there. And right now, I think we might have 10 down at the post just in case a veteran walks in and needs a coat. So a
Very
lot of
nice.
people are going to be kept warm that needed the coats, and we're so happy to do it. And and we're going to continue to do it. We're going to continue to get our donations. I know Ocean State Job Lot was one of the places that donated a lot of the coats to us. So
They do so much. They
Oh
do
yeah,
a lot for
yeah,
the community.
yeah.
really
They
give
are
back.
very, very generous over there. And next week I'll have to get the name of the gentleman that, because Bob LaForte, our commander, deals with a lot of these people. But I'll get the gentleman's name and we'll give him some kudos over the air. Couple of other things we got going on too, and I'll tell you, do not miss this show. It's February the 24th over at the American Legion Post 85. There is no cover charge. The band Salty Sister Project is going to be playing from 7 in the evening till 10 at night. These ladies, 3 ladies with the guitars and the harmonies, are absolutely unbelievable. They've played down in Nashville, Tennessee. They've played at the new venue in Worcester, Off the Rails. They've played all over Massachusetts, in Connecticut. And in fact, it's kind of funny because they're from the Spencer, Massachusetts area. And when I called Michelle, the one that does the booking for him, and she's also a band member, she says, where is Woonsocket?
little south of Spencer.
The geographical area I gave her is that they played a couple of times down at the Polish American Hall in Uxbridge, Mass.
All right, close
on
by.
16. So I said, you're looking at maybe about another 15 minutes down the road. So, but they're gonna, like I said, they're gonna be appearing on Saturday, February the 24th. So mark that date on your calendar. And I'll tell you will not be disappointed. I've had the pleasure of listening to these ladies play their music, and they're phenomenal. Another thing we got going on, circle the calendar, March 17th. Of course, that's St. Patrick's Day. That's a Sunday this year. And so you might want to talk to your boss about taking Monday off. I don't know. But we're going to be having corned beef and cabbage down at the American Legion Post. And the local band Runnin' Wild is going to provide the entertainment on St. Patrick's Day. We have yet to get some figures on how much the corned beef and cabbage meal is going to cost. We have our meetings this Sunday.
It'll be market price, I'm sure.
Market price,
Yeah,
yes.
that's what they put in the printed menus, market price.
Well, all I know is that we are not going to overprice it. We never do down at the Post.
All right.
Of course, and I think a lot of people get the wrong idea that corned beef was one of the cheaper, tougher cuts of meat. That if you brined it, you could get it edible. But that's why it started with the immigrants, the corned beef and cabbage, because it was a very cheap cut of meat. And the problem is that now that it's become a cut celeb during that time of year, they say the heck with cheap. This is the only time of year we sell it.
You know, let's kick up the price
So
a
good,
little
though.
bit. huh?
They do, yeah. So it makes it tough on everybody.
Yeah. Yeah, well, we always do the best we can down at the post to keep the costs down because we want the people to come in. I mean, let's be real. Where every place makes its money is where? At the bar, right? Yeah, but come on down on the, like I say, both dates, February 24th. By the way, no cover charges. As far as like when we get bands down there, even during the summertime, you know, we don't have our hand out for a cover charge. Just come down, enjoy yourself, have some beverages, and just enjoy the day. So that's pretty much what we got going on. We got our regular meetings this Sunday there where we have our board of directors meeting. We decide a lot of things. One of the things we are going to be talking about this Sunday is we've got preliminary plans to do a Korean War veteran dedication at the Eternal Flame site. So that's something that we were looking at in April and May of this year. That's something that's really going to be discussed this Sunday, and hopefully we can make some final plans and really get that underway. But I'll have more information on that, a lot more information next Friday on a lot of the goings on because we got the board of directors meeting on Sunday. So. But that's pretty much what's going
Thanks,
on.
Rich.
All right, Rich, thanks. Got to take a break here in the Coffee and program, and this segment has been sponsored by the Valley Breeze newspaper, which Dave happens to have in his hands at the moment.
I does. Yes, thank you very much. I have the Cumberland Lincoln edition of the Valley Breeze in my hand right now, Joe. And flooding worsens for Cumberland homeowners with dozens and dozens of cases that need answers. And Luz Jennifer Martinez has she's the deputy editor over at the Valley Breeze, by the way. And she has a story there for you. Ethan Shorey has a nice story on parents. Some on the school board question the plan for redistricting. We've been hearing a lot of comments about that. And residents rally to put the carriage in Carriage Heights. Read the story from Sophia Barr, written for the folks in Lincoln. Picking up the copy now of the North Smithfield, Blackstone, and Woonsocket edition. Hallowell is demolished. Residents reflect on memories. Great story there from Bella Pelletier. And the school committee votes Barry Field as the new location for the joint elementary school, much to the dismay of so many people in the neighborhoods, who we've been hearing for weeks, knowing that it was being considered, come up before the school committee during Good and Welfare and plead for them to vote against it. Listening to what school committee chair Paul Bourget said before the vote, he said, how can we afford to not vote for this? Yeah. Because we have one shot. The state said your school system, these schools have to be replaced. And they've been saying that for years. And they say, if you put them all together in one place, because that's what the state likes, then guess what? We'll give you a huge chunk of what it's going to cost to do it. And of course, Barry Field covenants would be in harmony with putting a school there. So that's a fast track in a lot of people's minds. Anyway, the school committee did vote to go in favor of that. Read all the details from Bella Pelletier, who also has a story on over 50 flooding emergencies in North Smithfield this past month. All in the Valley Breeze, plus great ads from some fantastic local businesses. The Valley Breeze newspaper, free where you shop every Thursday.
Thanks, Dave, and the Coffee and program will continue. Please stay tuned.
What does it mean to be owned by your customers? It means we don't answer to a headquarters in New York or a board of directors in Switzerland. It means we answer to a teacher in Woonsocket, a small business owner in Greenville, a contractor in Warwick. Our customers are our owners. Our owners are our customers. Come join us. Navigate Credit Union.
Join the St. Anne's Cultural Center at Cello's in Woonsocket on Sunday, January 21st from 11:30 a.m. to 10 p.m. for dine-in or takeout. Cello's will donate up to 20% of your check to the center. Everyone who participates will be entered into a free drawing for a $50 gift card to Cello's and other prizes. A certificate is needed and can be obtained at Belos Flowers, The Honey Shop, A Cut Above Hair Salon, Vos True Value Hardware, Little General on Cumberland Street, or from the St. Anne's Cultural Center website. Also, meet the 2024 Mardi Gras Queen contestants.
Thanks, Dominic. It is Coffee and on ON Radio. Thanks for joining us. Joe Callahan with Dave Richards, Melissa Murray, and Rich Elaine. And, well, a little excitement down the road yesterday here in Woonsocket at the Gulf Express gas station. It was robbed at gunpoint at 11 in the morning. Amazing. Person came in
Yesterday morning.
Yesterday morning.
About
It was a
11:15,
man,
actually, yeah.
hooded sweatshirt, and a ski mask. And it doesn't say he pointed a gun, just said he showed a gun.
Right.
I don't know if there's any real difference, but he was armed.
Well, I
yeah.
don't know. If you were behind the counter, it would be a difference. If
Yeah,
he just showed
yeah.
you the gun,
Or if they
or if he's
pointed
pointing at you.
yeah.
Yes, right.
According to the police, the subject brandished a handgun.
Showed,
Okay.
Yeah.
Asked for money. He was given money, an unspecified amount, and then took off. Didn't know if it was. Didn't know if he got into a car. It doesn't say. He just took off on foot. Police are still searching for this suspect, and it remains under investigation. So,
Hopefully they have cameras and they were able to get something.
yeah. Well, they know it was a ski mask and a hooded,
Well,
hooded
right,
sweatshirt.
but
So there
some
you go. And
kind
then
of car or something.
And over the line, Blackstone Millville had a medical issue at the middle school on Thursday. The superintendent sent an email out to parents and everything and said that we follow our emergency protocols. We contacted parents, first responders. 3 students were taken to the hospital. Police said they consumed an unknown controlled substance.
Oh boy.
And they just kind of left it at that. They said everybody's fine. Everybody's been checked out, and their kids are either with their parents or they're with medical providers. So, and then the same thing happened for some reason down at the Cape, at a school in Yarmouth. So, on the same day, which is amazing. So that's what happened in Blackstone Millville yesterday.
By the way, point of clarification, I just looked up the word brandished.
Okay.
And it is to wave something in the air in a threatening or excited way.
All right. So
Okay.
I got.
According to the
I
Cambridge
have one in my
Dictionary.
hand. Do you see it?
That's the Cambridge Dictionary.
That'd be enough
That's
for
not,
me to just.
That's not showing
yeah.
it. That's waving something in the air in a threatening or excited way.
All right.
He was excited to rob the gas station.
I would be excited to just give them whatever they wanted. Just
Here
okay, fine.
you go.
Not gonna argue. No.
My very first job was at a small pharmacy, family-owned pharmacy, back when we had family-owned pharmacies in Cumberland, and there was
They were outlawed, weren't they?
well, they just got put out of business, and but there was a rash of thefts that was starting. And now I grew up in Cumberland, and so it started at 1 Mendon Road, which is almost in Lincoln in Central Falls, and it was moving up Mendon Road, and he was hitting every pharmacy. Now I was at 1000 Mendon Road. And I worked one night with a very nervous pharmacist.
Yes.
And he was worried that we were going to be next. And he said, if it does happen, Joe, give him anything he wants.
Yep.
Yep. absolutely.
The objective here is not to get shot. 'Cause he
Right,
was
it's
showing
not
him
worth your life.
Whatever you want, here
Right.
you go. You want some soda with that too? You got it. Here you go.
Yeah.
We never got robbed, by the way. I think
That's
they actually
good.
found they caught the guy one time because he was going up the road, and so the police went to the next drugstore.
Yeah, figuring,
and caught him.
here's the
Not
pattern.
He was following a pattern. What do you think? The police can't figure this out?
Yes. Predictable. A little bit.
Yeah. All right, we had a note that was called in. This one goes to Rich. Rich, we had the first fantasy football draft at Post 85 in the Hall in the early 1980s. Corla believes to this day it was the original of any kind of Woonsocket, or perhaps even in Rhode Island. Very first fantasy football draft, going way back then.
Back in 1980.
1980s. I don't remember that, but
let's
fantasy
see,
football
in
back then.
They had
1980
fantasies in
I
1980?
don't remember fantasy football that far
See,
back.
in 1980, I had just gotten off of active duty from the Marine Corps, and I was still a kid down in Worcester. So,
So you
but
wasn't
you
there,
know,
Joe.
no, but I can. I'll tell you what. There's probably a couple of guys, old Mikey Knott, still hanging around the post, and Rich Christensen. So I'll have to ask a couple of the guys. In fact, a lot of them would be there at a meeting on Sunday. I'll have to ask them about that.
Okay.
All right.
See if they
That's
remember
very interesting.
fantasy football back there in the early
Hey, if
1980s.
you know what I want to ask Dave and Melissa, and I drive by there all the time on my way down here. And like I said, I'm an old Worcester boy, so I don't know the history, but that Parmit, P-A-R-M-I-S,
Yeah.
Incorporated, that building on
That
the
was
corner.
a corporation that the man who owned the building had.
Okay, well, what are they doing with that building? I mean,
Well,
I go
I
by
can-
there, and it's like
I
the
can tell you.
Domino's Pizza used to be down there. and-
Yeah.
I can
Parms
tell you a
building, yeah.
little bit
Yeah.
about that.
Yeah.
Parms Incorporated was the corporation that he had. I don't know how he came up with the name, but that's what that was. And then you asked about what's happening with it now. My best information is that it's being sold to a developer. And I can offer a little anecdote about that. When I was helping out with the Polar Express that the Blackstone Valley Tourism put on at the depot right across the street, part of my duties was to greet people as they came onto the property, and I was stationed right across the street at the mouth of the entrance. So I actually observed a real estate agent that I know locally taking a guy, and this was a very cold day, and he had the most incredible suit on. Yeah. And the most incredible disinterested look on his face, taking him through every single unit of that place. And sometimes he just stuck his head in and looked around and said, okay. and like, because it was a very cold day, and he did not have a top coat on. He just had his suit on. But you could tell, I mean, guys can tell when you look at someone else's suit, is it like an expensive suit, or is it just like what you wear to go to the football banquet?
Yeah.
You know, so this guy was dressed really well, you know, custom made. So so I got a chance to see a guy shaping it up, and my understanding is that it's being sold. They found some. He didn't look like a drunken sailor to me, but they found someone who isn't afraid of having to replace the elevator in the building. And worse than that, the elevator shaft, because anybody can replace an elevator.
Yeah.
But the shaft isn't wide enough to replace it with an elevator that is to code now.
Yeah.
You see, so somebody out there has to have the moxie to go in there and do the structural changes it's going to take that one elevator, because it's like 5 stories, and get it ship shape and up to code. Then you can start fixing up the place and renting it out. But the elevator has always been the problem with that place.
All right. See, I learn something
you're up
new
to
every day. I'm up to date.
But somebody is apparently doing it.
Oh, well, good.
Yeah, that's good.
It's only going to cost how many millions to do
Oh,
this?
many millions, I'm sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
So these are not going to be the cheap suites.
No. All right, other things going on.
But then again, they are right across from the depot, right across from City Hall,
Yeah.
right across from the derelict Hospital Trust building.
All right, I didn't hear about this, but a lot of people use lip balm here in the Northeast, especially in the wintertime when it's cold. I don't, but
I'm not
a lot
in
of people
favor
do.
of bombs or ammunition or anything like that.
BALM.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Lip
I'm sorry.
balm. Lip balm flavors inspired by a basket of chicken wings has already sold out.
Ew.
Burt's Bees. I think you might have seen them in the
Yeah.
grocery
Yeah,
stores.
yeah,
yeah,
they're
yeah,
really
right.
expensive.
How are they?
Yeah, they're
Burt's
kinda
Bees
spendy for-
announced that it
yeah.
teamed up with Hidden Valley Ranch, the salad dressing people, to create a line of lip balms that feature flavors of buffalo sauce, crunchy celery, fresh carrot, and Hidden Valley Ranch.
Buffalo
God.
sauce.
Yeah. The
I feel
collabora-
like if your lips were chapped, that might burn.
well,
So all I'm
maybe.
thinking is like,
The collaboration started after an April Fool's post in 2022 of ranch-flavored lip balm. They actually decided to do it. And the limited edition pack of lip balms was launched on Wednesday. Chicken wings is sold out. People go right for the non-healthy stuff.
Yeah.
I'll skip celery for now. We'll go right for chicken.
You know, and you wonder, okay, I'll try it,
I wonder what it tastes
and then
like.
like
I wonder if
that's
it's
it.
any good.
You know, a little
Yeah,
novelty item, make
You
a
try
few,
it, and then you're
maybe
like,
make a few bucks on it, and then that'll be it.
ooh, this is kind of weird.
I don't know.
Did you hear Arnold Schwarzenegger's in trouble?
No, I didn't.
Yeah.
And I was just watching one of his movies with my wife the other day,
What has he done now?
Kindergarten Cop.
That's a funny movie. Schwarzenegger is being investigated for possible tax evasion. Now, the former governor of
boy.
California from Los Angeles was flying from L.A. to Germany yesterday when he was held for about 3 hours for held in Germany for not declaring the luxury watch he was wearing. Schwarzenegger plans to sell it at his charity auction sometime tonight in Austria. That's where he was heading. Claims he was never asked to fill out a declaration form. I didn't know. Ignorance is always the best defense to go with. The 76-year-old actor reportedly paid $38,000 for the watch, which includes taxes and a penalty before he was released to continue traveling. Oh, he paid. That's not the watch. That was the fine he had to pay to be on his way. So
Well, I'm sure that didn't put too much of a dent in his
Well,
wallet.
probably not. So
Yeah.
He's got a couple of shekels to rub together.
I think Arnold will be all right.
Yeah.
Huh?
That which his wife didn't get. I
Now,
don't know
how-
what that is.
what would I get if I showed up with my Timex? It's not. It's not
Move
really-
along,
Yeah,
Keep it
yeah.
moving.
Move
Move
along.
on. Move on.
Thanks for coming overseas. All right. Let's see. Anything else of real good importance going on? I don't want to go with that. And we talked about this later. I talked about this yesterday with Dave. There's an Arizona lawmaker. You should bring this up, Melissa, down at the State House. There's an
boy.
Arizona lawmaker. He wants to make Pluto, the former planet, he wants to make it Arizona's official state planet. Now I laughed about it too, but there is a reasoning behind it, and that's
Okay.
because the Lowell Observatory in Flagstaff, Arizona, discovered Pluto in 1930. So it's their connection to astronomy that he's trying to preserve.
Their state
Okay.
planet.
Well, no one else has one, so
Well, right, because our state planet is Earth.
And all the and they're going to have all the stars around it for sale, and you can name a star.
there you go. Well, let's go with
Right
that.
there
Let's
you
get-
go.
let's
Look at the money you could make,
Yeah.
huh? For the state.
I would get laughed out of office.
Let's go with Jupiter, where the smallest state can have the largest planet.
Yeah.
Oh, this is perfect.
Please don't
Yeah.
ask me to do that.
Here we go. Here
Well,
we
I'm not-
go.
It's a
Here we go.
constituent request.
I'm not a constituent, so
Right.
you can just
So, yeah.
completely ignore my suggestions.
Go ask your state rep.
All right, that does it for today. Thank you very much for listening in. Thanks to Anna Brunetti, who was here earlier, as he's asking for your vote in the upcoming primary on February 6th. Rich Lane, thanks for coming in.
Thank you very much. Come on down to the post. Visit us, people.
All right, Melissa Murray, thanks for coming in.
Thank you for having me. Happy weekend, everybody.
All right, Dave Richards, thanks for being here as well.
Well, I have two things to say. First of all, thank goodness that they caught the two creeps who took down my friend Will Payne's radio tower, KITX, down there in Oklahoma.
Some people knocked it down.
They were looking to rob it of copper.
Oh, well,
It had
okay.
copper lines
All right,
on it, so
all
they
right.
just tore it down
Tore it
with a
down.
winch.
Wow.
Took the stations off. They took the electrical thing out of the
what state?
outside. He's in Oklahoma.
Wow.
And they did this over the past weekend, and they caught the two
They caught
creeps
'em. Wow.
selling
Oh,
the
yeah.
copper.
Selling the copper. Yeah.
So thank goodness. We always love it when law enforcement
Works.
helps us out. That's
Yeah.
because this guy's in a world of hurt right now. He took a 50,000 watt station off the air.
Wow.
Well, he'll get back on at a measly 5,000 watts for a little while, and then they'll have to build another
bump it back
tower
up,
with all
yeah.
the rest that goes with that during the wintertime. You ever try to build a radio tower in the wintertime? It ain't a whole lot of fun. But anyway, we're very thankful for law enforcement and our friend Will Payne getting some justice, at least, in that situation. And then we also want to remind everybody that Cruz and Bruce Palmer is taking the week off, and in his place, Gary Smith and the crew will be here tomorrow afternoon at 4 o'clock with the Saturday Night Block Party.
Taking your requests.
Dave Richards, I'm out.
All right, I'm Joe Callahan. Have yourself a great weekend. And speaking of Gary Smith, the Do You Remember Cruise coming your way at 9:30 here on ON Radio.
Broadcasting live and local daily from the Navigant Credit Union broadcast studio at the corner of Park Avenue and Kennedy Street. This is WOON Woonsocket Radio. And now, the news. We read at turnto10.com.